Good evening and welcome back to Big Mouth. And we've actually got some exciting DC news. And I'm just waiting for someone to come in so we can start discussing this news. Let's see if anyone's going to come in tonight. But Guy Gardner has been cast. Welcome to the first viewer. So this is Bobcat. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Bobcat. Very exciting tonight, Bobcat. So basically, they've cast Guy Gardner in the Green Lantern Corps TV show. This is from Boris Kitt. Some show details. A story spanning decades and galaxies, beginning on Earth in 1941, with the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner and half-alien Bree Jarta. They'll be joined by a multitude of other Lanterns. Hunter Iggy, hi. Ronnie Dodge, hey Mickey, great casting. Yes, we're about to read the article. I'm very excited. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. And by the way, if that wasn't exciting enough, we've had a trailer for the continuation of season 5 of Lucifer. And Lucifer and Michael are going to fight to who's going to become God. Really, really awesome. I think it's great casting. It's very smart, in my opinion. Honestly, I don't know who this guy is, but it's Finn Wittrock to star in Green Lantern on HBO Max. He looks great. The American Horror Story. Wow, this is top notch. I haven't seen American Horror Story for many, many years. The American Horror Story and Ratchet actor will play a key DC Comics character in the upcoming series from executive producer Greg Berlanti. Finn Wittrock is joining the DC universe. The American Horror Story and Ratchet actor has been cast in a key starring role in HBO Max's upcoming Green Lantern series. Wittrock will play Guy Gardner on one of the many Green Lantern characters that will be featured in the big-budget drama from executive producer Greg Berlanti, Warner Brothers TV. In recent decades, the character has been portrayed in the comics as a parody of a militant macho American hero. The HBO Max character is described as hulking mass of masculinity and as rendered in comics as an embodiment of 1980s hyper-patriotism, and yet Guy is somehow likable. Here's the official show description. Green Lantern reinvents the classic DC property through a story spanning decades and galaxies beginning on Earth in 1941. I've just read this to you. We'll go through it again. With the very first Green Lantern, secretly gay FBI agent Alan Scott, and 1984 with cocky alpha male Guy Gardner and half-alien Bree Jarta. They'll be joined by a multitude of other Lanterns from comic book favourites to never-before-seen heroes. So it's very, very awesome. Sources say Berlanti's camp had a conversation with Ryan Murphy as Wittrock is attached as the male lead on season 2 of the latter creator's Ratchet drama for Netflix. Murphy is said to have agreed to let Wittrock prioritize Green Lantern as a return date for production on season 2 of Ratchet has not yet been determined. Green Lantern is expected to begin filming this year. Casting for Alan Scott is also expected to be announced. That's probably even a bigger, more vital piece of casting for Alan Scott, to be announced shortly, as a deal with an actor is on the cusp of closing. HBO Max's Green Lantern, per sources, will be the most expensive show that Arrowverse architect Berlanti has produced in his career. So that's the news. So let's get this guy's name right. Finn Wittrock to star in Green Lantern. He's been on American Horror Story and Ratchet, which means this guy is a great actor. I've never seen him before, I'll be honest, but those two shows I know are very well respected in the industry. So, and you know what? The Green Lantern IP is something that's only been attempted in live action once. It didn't work out, but I get the feeling this is going to be the real deal today. And I don't think we'll see this show till next year. You know, HBO Max, you know, say what you want about them. It's been a slow start for them, but next year is massive. Green Lantern Corps, Gotham PD, Peacemaker. Who's the witch? Who's Zatanna? No, not Zatanna. She's getting a movie, isn't she? But they're doing Justice League Dark as well, and I think that's HBO Max as well. So there's a lot to look forward to. So I'm very excited that the casting's getting done finally, for Green Lantern Corps, this is a project that was a film, now a series, but apparently the Green Lantern Corps movie is also still in development. The Steven Spielberg movie is still in development. I don't know if they're telling the truth or not, to distract from the Snyderverse calamity, but it's looking very, very exciting if you're a DC purist. I mean, Alan Scott, Guy Gardner. You see, it's interesting with the Green Lantern characters in the comic books because none of them are grade Bs and grade Cs. Guy Gardner and Alan Scott are as important as John Stewart and the other one. I always forget his name, the one Ryan Reynolds played. And so you can't say, oh, there's no Hal Jordan, that's it, and there's no John Stewart, so this show's not going to be any good. I think that all these characters are relevant. Is Jessica Cruz going to be in it? I'm not sure. They didn't mention it there in that article, but I'm very, very pumped and excited about that. It's great to have some DC news when you're going live as well. It dropped a couple of hours ago, and I'm really, really the anticipation to finally see this show is very, very exciting for me. So if you want to hit me with any questions or anything like that, or you've got any comments, you can talk about anything. It can be about Green Lantern. It can be about Noel Clarke and the exposing of him being accused by over 20 women of sexual harassment as well. That was a big shocker for everyone. I would like to talk about that as well. But you can talk about your favourite TV shows. You can talk about your favourite movies. Other news that's going on at the moment as well. The state of the DCEU. Do you want to talk about the MCU? Bobcat, I'd love an HBO Max series where Batman villains gather around and tell stories about how they almost got Batman. And every episode is a different villain like that. Batman animated series episode. That would be amazing, Bobcat. I'd really like it. You're really good at coming up with ideas, aren't you? And I like that idea. That would be awesome. Needed that. It's been a long day. It's just great to be able to chill out and talk some geek. Yeah, look, the Green Lantern IP is, I think, one of the most important. And it's staggering to me after it failed a few years ago with Ryan Reynolds that they didn't try again immediately. And I think with the DCEU, they should have got in there a lot more quick. I'm surprised Zack Snyder didn't do anything a lot earlier, apart from a couple of cameos he was planning in Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. I think so. That was always weird to me. You could have started off with some solos, Man of Steel, a Batman movie, a Wonder Woman movie, a Cyborg movie, a Flash movie, and a Green Lantern Corps movie. But you don't just want to focus on one Green Lantern. You want to be on OR. Like they did at the beginning of the Ryan Reynolds movie. It looks amazing, that planet at the beginning. And Mark Strong was one of the big hits with all the fans. I think he was great, no matter what you think about the movie. Yusuf Al-Juwan, if it good. It will be good, Yusuf. It will be good. I'm very, very confident. The people they've got working on it don't mess around. I just feel that there's a lot of good stuff coming. I know we're all kind of frustrated about the Snyderverse stuff stalling, but I am a DC fan. Bobcat, I think Sinestro could be a good villain if he starts out as a Green Lantern. I think Mark Strong could still play Sinestro because we're in the multiverse now, aren't we? This is part of the multiverse strategy and everything's part of the same franchise now. So why shouldn't Mark Strong be able to play whoever he what's his name? Dr. Sivana in the Shazam universe and play Sinestro in the Green Lantern universe? Why not? This is what the multiverse is all about, isn't it? It isn't confusing, not for me. It's pretty obvious to understand. And Mark Strong did so well with that role. He's Mr. DC as well. And he's a great guy. He's so positive about DC. And he'll talk to you about DC and his roles for ages. He's such a positive guy. So I've got a lot of time for Mark. But yeah, Bobcat agreed, yeah. Listen, it's one of those situations, isn't it, where you get a piece of news and then your mind starts working overtime and you think, what happened next? I did want to talk about Henry Cavill tonight as well. What do we think of Henry Cavill? I remember one of his comments when they were promoting Justice League, and he said, even if there wasn't a Marvel MCU, DCEU would have had problems. Youthford, as your one, Carol as Lantern, yeah. It's all in the comics, even in the animated series. I think they tapped into that a little bit, if I remember rightly. Bobcat, Patrick Stewart as Lex Luthor might be good. It would be. Unfortunately, he's so old now, and he's already doing Picard. I don't think he'll be able to do both things, but that would be interesting. But yeah, Patrick Stewart would have been an awesome Lex Luthor. But the guy, Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Kingpin in the Daredevil series, that's the guy I want to see tapped to play the new DCEU Lex Luthor. I just don't think Jesse Eisenberg will return. I don't think it's happening. A lot of people didn't like Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I see it. I like it. I wouldn't have cast him as Lex. I was very surprised that that's the guy that Zach went with. But he did a good job as Lex Luthor. He's just not a traditional Lex Luthor. He's more of a Lex Luthor Jr. I still had a theory within Zach's universe that Lex Luthor Sr. was out there somewhere, because I know they hinted that he died, but they never came out and said that he was actually dead. Although Zach may have said something. Zach says a lot of things, but you want to see these things in the movies. You don't want to get things clarified constantly on Vero with Zach. You want to see things in the movies. Otherwise, show and tell is a good thing when you're telling stories. I don't want to be writing a story, then doing my live and saying, well, actually, you didn't understand any of it, and I've got to give you all the answers. It's not great, is it? I don't think so anyway. So a bit of a problem for me. We're finally getting a live action Green Lantern, and I couldn't be happier. So, yeah, talking about Henry Cavill, when he said that whatever they did, even if there was no MCU, basically the DCEU would have struggled anyway. He said this a few years back. Henry Cavill's interesting, isn't he? Because he said that, and he turned up on the Man of Steel watch along and stuff, and he seemed very up for it. And we thought this was a kind of hint that he would be back as Superman full time, and we haven't heard anything since. Yusuf Ojuan, if Superman and Lois is good. I mean, Green Lantern HBO show is going to be good. Yeah, Superman and Lois is a great show. It really, really is. And I think going back to Henry Cavill, I think Henry Cavill is a career actor. I think it's about him and his career. And by the way, I don't think that's a bad thing. Bobcat, Idris Elba would make a good Jon Stewart. Yes, he would. He would have been an amazing Jon Stewart. I don't know what chance there is of that, but there's so many fine, fabulous actors. You know, who knows? They may still use Wayne T. Carr, who was supposed to be in the Snyder Cut. So you never know. They may grab hold of him, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? And not sure if that would go down well with Zach, but that was Ray Fisher's choice as well. So maybe not. Maybe they don't want to touch someone that's involved with Ray Fisher. Who knows? But definitely there's going to be a lot of Green Lantern characters. And this is a show spanning from 1941, which I think is a very interesting premise for me. As I say, I do suspect Guy Gardner is going to be their commentary on toxic masculinity, because these people can't help themselves. Yeah, Bobcat, Stewart, not Stewart. I understood what you were saying anyway. But very, very exciting that we're getting this new kind of iteration of the DC live action universe moving. Bobcat, I think if he dies as Bloodsport in the Suicide Squad, which I think he will be a great Jon Stewart. Oh, definitely. But with the multiverse strategy, if they really wanted to do that, they could do that anyway. I think this is one of the reasons you can really mess around here. And I think we should start getting more and more news about the future of the DCEU. Obviously, they don't want to spoil too much, because there's things that are going to happen in Flashpoint that will kind of mold together, craft together the future of the DC Extended Universe. So it will be very interesting to see how we end that film and what we're doing going forward. Very interesting. People are going to be talking about that film. That's one of the things for sure. Whether it's positive or negative, after Flashpoint, things are going to change, and it's just going to be really cool to see what happens. Bobcat, I know a lot of people aren't excited about it, but I'm excited for Batgirl. Yes. Are we getting a Batgirl? It's still in development, isn't it, Bobcat? But I think Batgirl will be in Flashpoint with Supergirl. And I think she will be trained by Keaton's Batman, and he'll be a Batman Beyond, and they'll take it. Instead of it being, who is it, Roy? I can't remember what the character's name is. Is it Roy McGinnis or something like that? Instead of it being him, it'll be Batgirl. I'm excited for all this stuff. I think Batgirl's supposed to be an HBO Max thing, isn't it? Yeah, I'm excited. It's not all about the Snyderverse for me. I love those films. Youth of Ojuan, Teen Titans, yeah? We could get a lot of stuff here. Obviously, we've got a Titans TV show, which is really, really good. I liked the Titans TV show. Some people have some issues with it, but they've done a lot of things already, and they're bringing even more DC characters to their next season as well, which is also exciting. Listen, if you don't have a bias in life, you can enjoy stuff, embrace stuff, and decide whether you like it or not on its merits. You can't hate DC content because they haven't restored the Snyderverse. I don't think that's right. Well, you can do whatever you want. I can't tell you what to do, but I think you're robbing yourself of stuff. Of course, if you're not really a DC fan, but you're more of a Zack DC fan, it's different. You probably need to walk away and embrace Netflix and embrace Army of the Dead. I think that will be the most healthiest thing for you, because there doesn't seem to be much of a chance of the restoration of the Snyderverse. But what do I know? What do I know? Hopefully, who knows? Maybe we'll get a miracle, which would be amazing. So what have you all been watching today? Have you been watching any TV shows? Have you been watching any movies? Last night, I put on, I put The Hobbit on, the first Hobbit on, the extended Hobbit. And I really enjoyed it. I love all those 6 movies. What Peter Jackson did was sensational. And they're doing a Lord of the Rings Amazon original series as well. Can't wait for that. So that's going to be awesome. There is a lot of things to look forward to in Geek Universe. With movie theatres reopening around the world now, mostly, not India, obviously. But as we get into the year, as we go back to normal and the release window is re-sanctioned, we're going to get everything's going to be released. Next year's a big year, especially for DC. 4 movies. That's amazing. The MCU seems to be the same. It seems to be doing well. The Disney Plus series. And then, of course, you've got the whole Disney Plus Star Wars universe as well. Bobcat, watching Gotham today, some more. Yeah, Gotham is awesome. As I say, I felt it was okay. I thought it was an inconsistent show. Sometimes it was really good. I wasn't interested in Gordon's love life and all that stuff with Lee and all that kind of stuff, but I was interested in his struggles, him going after the villains. Their version of the Joker was sensational. I don't think it was as consistent as Smallville, but it was a great show, and what they did was a great idea. I think they totally messed up the finale. Bobcat, have you seen the whole series? Are you still watching it for the first time? Because if you're watching it for the first time, I won't tell you how they effed up the series finale. So let me know, and I'll shut up. Because I thought the Smallville series finale triggered me, but the Gotham series finale, I think, was worse than Game of Thrones. First time. Well, wait till you get to the finale. It's all right in places, but anyway, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I wanted to have a long discussion about Gotham. But you started it too late, didn't you? So, anyway, once you've finished it, let me know, and we'll have a good little discussion about Gotham. So, yes, it's all going on out there. The entertainment industry, there's a lot of toxicity, there's a lot of positivity as usual. As I say, Noel Clarke's TV show has been pulled by ITV after he was accused of sexually harassing over 20 women in the industry. I don't know all the details. Noel Clarke played Mickey Smith in Doctor Who. Is there any Doctor Who fans in the house? Let me know. So Noel Clarke played Mickey Smith, Rose Tyler's boyfriend, aka Billy Piper, in the early seasons of the Doctor Who revival. We all thought he was a good guy. He actually blocked me a couple of years ago. I argued with one of his actor mates and he didn't like it. And you know what happens here, Noel? See what happens when people block me, mate? I watch it occasionally. Doctor Who. Doctor Who, I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I'd love to get more Doctor Who fans to the channel. I think at the moment it's DC because mainly I talk about DC, so that's very understandable, and you're all very, very welcome. Yeah. So as I was saying, I was just trying to work out if Henry Cavill will ever return. Are his loyalties with Snyder? Are his loyalties with just coming back? I think he will be back. I think his loyalties are for him doing the job rather than with Snyder. And at the end of the day, he's got to look after his own career, hasn't he? I mean, why should he be looking out for anyone else? In terms of not Ray Fisher, in terms of Noel Clarke, he had a very promising career. He just won a BAFTA. Wow. Very, very disappointing when you hear things like this about people that you look up to in the industry. Just goes to show you can't trust anyone. So are you excited about the Green Lantern Corps series? Or are you not feeling it as much? I am. I think it's going to be amazing. I think they're spending, as they said in the article, they're spending more money than they've ever done on any Arrowverse show. But you can tell that the Arrowverse shows are very, very cheap. Even a lot of the Flash VFX is kind of recycled. This is a real show. This is a real streaming show with real streaming money. And so I'm very, very confident that the Green Lantern Corps TV show is going to be brilliant. It's going to be something to look forward to. And as I say, next year on HBO Max is a big year. There's so many things for people to subscribe to the platform for, especially with DC. It's going to be the home of DC. And who knows? Once we've seen Sasha Calle as Supergirl in Flash, she may get her own movie or maybe an HBO Max series. And so I think Sasha's going to be very, very popular with audiences. Sasha's a really good daytime actor. She's won daytime awards. She's been in a soap before. Brandon Routh started off being in a soap, and then he played Superman. A lot of people love Brandon as Superman. There was even a petition, Yusuf Ajuan, we're going to see Injustice 3. Whew, if only. But yeah, with what was I talking about? Hang on, Bobcat. I was looking at a Boomerang figure I have from Funko, and his hand looks metal. And now all I want is for Boomerang to have a metal arm. I think it's been really cool since he barely has any powers. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome, Bobcat. As I say, you've got some really, really good ideas, and you have to wait and see to see the movie. But Captain Boomerang is amazing in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I loved him in the first movie as well. It's interesting with the first Suicide Squad because David Ayer claims it's not his movie. He didn't put it together. It's his scenes, but he had to do reshoots on their orders. It's actually quite a strong film, considering it made a lot of money. Reviews were shit, but I think a few people watched it and thought, this movie's okay. I don't think that those video editing people, music video editing people, did such a bad job on the movie. And I'm surprised it got so much hate. And I'm still surprised that Jared Leto's Joker got some hate, even though we didn't see all his work on the movie, and that's disappointing and that's ridiculous. I still feel it's a good enough movie, and I was surprised at the hate the film was getting. And so, so Bobcat, I hope they explain what happened to Croc, Katana, and Deadshot. You never know. You never know. But people like Brandon Routh, and that's what I was talking about. There was a petition when they were developing Man of Steel, and a lot of people were voting in a petition for Brandon to play Superman. And Snyder didn't choose Brandon; he chose Henry Cavill, which was very interesting. Obviously, if they chose Henry Cavill, maybe people would have been confused. New cast, it would have been a bit difficult, and maybe Zach didn't rate Brandon as a good Superman. There is that as well. I think Henry Cavill was the right choice. I certainly think he's a great Superman, but I think Henry deserves more. Henry deserves to play Superman some more. Bobcat. I mean, if James can kill anyone, he could kill them as like an into the film. Maybe not Deadshot and Croc and Katana. Well, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to say, I think when James Gunn says he could kill anyone, I think he means he could kill anyone. I don't think that's the line. You're going to have to wait to see the movie, but in the directors, I mean, obviously he wants to come back and do more. So if you're gonna, let's say, if he killed certain people, it would be problematic for him if he didn't want to kill those people, unless there's a way you can bring them back to life, and that's another conversation. Until you see that film, you'll understand. But yes, there's a lot of questions about Suicide Squad that people have, especially who's going to survive and who won't. What's the tagline for the film? They're dying to save the world. Oh, I love that. That's amazing. What a tagline. I think the tagline's genius. I really do. It's so hot tonight, honestly. It's ridiculously hot. But, Bobcat, multiverse, and then in the comics, they're a thing Waller uses to bring dead members back to life. Maybe they use that in the film. Who knows? Wait till you see it. Wait till you see it. So there's a lot of basically there's a lot of avenues, isn't there, to do this, right? But yeah, a hotly anticipated movie, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and I think it's going to satisfy nearly everyone, apart from the die-hard Snyder fans, who I believe will say they hate it, even if they don't hate it, because that's the mentality. I saw someone on Twitter, which follows me and I follow, who said there's no chance he's watching Green Lantern. And, that's up to you. If you want to rob yourself, of that opportunity, that's entirely up to you. But I'm not going to boycott DC for anyone. I'm not going to boycott anything for anyone. I love my stories. I love my TV. I love my movies. I'm a Snyder fan, but I'm a huge Gunn fan as well. You know what? I admire directors, but I don't stand directors. I like directors. I love Oliver Stone. I love Quentin Tarantino. But I wouldn't stop watching anything for them just because they fell out with a studio, because all directors fall out with studios. Because when you're making a movie, it's their money, it's their reputation on the line. They want to say on how the movie's going to be done. And you have to come together. There has to be a balance. There has to be a unit. Yeah, that's what I don't get. I'm a DC stan more than a director stan. I mean, I've loved a lot of directors in my time. George Lucas, Robert Zemeckis. But I wouldn't give up on watching other stuff because I love those directors. That doesn't make sense to me. But Zack's got this appeal, which brings... He's a bit of a Pied Piper, Zack Snyder, isn't he? And I don't know where... This is interesting, right? Because, as I say, I fought to release the Snyder Cut and all of that. But were like the people who are really big Snyder fans, his fans, like during the Watchmen days and things like that. I'm kind of sad about Blackguard since he's been downgraded. Blackguard? Who's Blackguard? Who's Blackguard? I haven't got a good memory with character names. I probably know what you're talking about. So if you tell me who Blackguard is. Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, I forgot to talk about Pete Davidson. I forgot the character's name totally. No, Pete Davidson is very, very relevant in this movie. Very relevant in this movie. He's very, very good. He's there. Listen, he's there for obvious reasons. We know why he's there. So he's, he's a comedian. He's very good at what he does. But Pete Davidson gets a lot, and I mean a lot of screen time. So there's nothing to worry about. I forgot all about the character's name. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Pete Davidson is awesome in the movie. Definitely. Let's talk about this actually. Gunn has put a really good your perfect Brainiac. Oh, my perfect Brainiac. Well, we've had some live action ones, haven't we? We had the Krypton one. I think the Smallville one played by James Masters was very unique. But who I heard Savan is set up as the leader of the first team and is shockingly blown up. Have you? Who told you that? I'm not going to confirm or deny that. What was he talking about? Yeah, your perfect Brainiac, yeah. I think Smallville did a very different Brainiac to the comics because of budgetary reasons, but I think he worked. And James, who was very popular in Buffy, did a really good job with that character. But who would I cast as Brainiac? Do you know what? Do you know what? And I forgot his name. We were talking about him earlier, or I was. What's his bloody name? Mark Strong. Mark Strong would be an awesome Brainiac, actually. You don't really want to go too perfect. You don't want to go too, like, high profile with Brainiac. Otherwise, he's not Brainiac. He's the actor. And I think this is what Dick Donner said about casting Superman as well. Scott Edwards. Hello, Scott. Can you read the articles I sent you? Scott, if you check today's Big Mouth Daily, I read your articles. You see, you need to subscribe, Scott, and you need to check the videos when they come out, because when I do a Big Mouth Daily, that's when if I am going to read your articles, if they float my boat, that's when I'm going to read them. So there was a Big Mouth Daily that went for about over an hour today, and I read your articles. Pramila Sani, Jason Statham, perfect Brainiac. Interesting, yeah. I mean, it'd be different. Do you know he was rumoured to play Doctor Who a few years back? Bobcat, love the streams. Thank you, Bobcat. I love your company. It's really good. Just to sit down with a bunch of geeks that appreciate geek stuff. It's really awesome. I mean, as a young guy growing up, there was no internet. There was no one to talk about these things with. So it's pretty awesome that we can do that now, isn't it? Oh, cool. Yeah, so check out the Big Mouth Daily, Scott, and your articles are on there. I've just broke the news earlier. Oh, I didn't break the news that Guy Gardner has been cast. I read the article here, so when this stream finishes, you can re-watch it. And we go into Guy Gardner and who's playing him. So very, very interesting developments there, Scott. So, yeah, but I do expect a lot more big news in the DCEU in the next 2 weeks. I smell something big's going to happen. Scott Edwards, I actually really enjoyed the first Captain Marvel. Are you excited for the sequel? I'm kind of looking forward to the sequel. I enjoyed the first Captain Marvel. I didn't think it was a bad movie or anything. It's not really the character that does anything to me personally, but I think it's a good film, and I think it'll be interesting to see the sequel because it's another chapter in this big thing that is the MCU. Can't wait to see Aquaman 2. Oh, I can't wait to see Aquaman 2 either. This is a big film. And actually, my fictional girlfriend, the woman that I'd love to marry, Amber Heard, actually posted a picture, didn't she? Where are we? I bet you there's some Amber Heard haters here, isn't there? Right, hang on. Scott Edwards, what all do you think will be the same and different after Flashpoint? Hang on. We can discuss that, then we'll talk about Amber Heard. Well, I think, Scott, there'll be a brand new Justice League. It will look different, that's for sure. They're going to get rid of who they're going to get rid of. I don't know if this new Superman that J.J. Abrams is developing will be part of that. He could be with the way things are going. But I definitely think, Scott, you think the way things will be is Keaton's Batman will be the Batman, and Batgirl will be his Batman Beyond situation where he trains her. I think the Flash will be there. Who knows? Grant Gustin's Flash could be a part of this new Justice League. Anything's possible. But I think Keaton's Batman, I'm not sure about Superman, but I think things are going to look very, very different. I don't expect Ben Affleck's Batman to be involved in this new Justice League, but I think, this is going to be Andy Muschietti's premise, and I think he will do the next Justice League movie, and I think they'll delete both Justice League movies, Justice League and the Snyder Cut, from the canon. Sir, do you think Amber... Oh, dear. Don't be like that. I'm going to call her Amber Heard. Will be fired from Aquaman 2, or at least reduce her role significantly. No. Suski Gigsa, no. No way. She's in the movie. She's going to be there. There's no way. Nothing's happening with her. The industry... Listen, you're never going to enjoy films if you just want to watch good people in the industry or in films or TV, because there's barely any good people in this industry. So you might as well just enjoy the film because she isn't going anywhere. Whether she's a good person or a bad person, it doesn't matter. Scott Edwards, I think Aquaman and Wonder Woman will be the same. Yeah, Aquaman and Wonder Woman will definitely be the same. I was reading another question. Yeah, that's it. I was talking about Aquaman 2. Yeah, so basically Amber Heard's there. I think a lot more from Aquaman 2 is going to be set on the mainland, on land. Maybe we'll be on The sea will be in Atlantis, but maybe we won't be in Atlantis as much as we were before, because I think Atlantis in Aquaman 2 will invade the land, the dry land, or whatever they call it, right? The surface level, or whatever they call it, right? I think there's going to be an invasion of our world, and I think that's what that film's going to be about. Can't wait for the return of Black Manta Ray. Scott Edwards, Stargirl Season 2 premieres August 10th. You should try to catch up upon Season 1 by then. I'll try, Scott. I really want to watch it. There's just so much going on. It's really difficult. The day just goes just like that. But I would like to get into it for sure. And so what was I talking? Oh, you know what? I forget what I was talking about. So we were talking about Aquaman 2. Oh, yes, Scott, that was an interesting one Scott asked me before. How do I think the DCEU will look afterwards, after Flashpoint? Very, very different. I think people have got to get ready. It will be different. Whatever they want to change, they will change. Avatar 2 and Aquaman 2 are apparently opening in the same day. Which one do you think will move? I don't think Avatar 2 will move. When are we talking about? We're talking about 2022. What's the date for Aquaman 2? I can't remember, Suski. But I think if anything's going to move, it's Aquaman 2. But I think one of them's got to move, hasn't it? Because, listen, Avatar 2 is going to be the biggest thing. People have been waiting years for this sequel. So I think Aquaman 2, is that supposed to come out December 17th? So I think the last Aquaman came out in December, didn't it? They're probably going to want to keep that date. I think what they might do is put it on earlier in 2022. We'll see what happens there. It's very interesting. I'm surprised. I mean, who had that date? Who had that date first, Suzuki? Who had that date first? Because that's interesting. Now, whoever came in, whatever came in last for that date was very passive aggressive, wasn't they? And I'm surprised, but I expect Aquaman to move. It's going to have to. It's going to have to, but we'll see. So I think a lot of these dates aren't final dates. See, Aquaman 2 had the date first, right? Is that what you're saying? So Aquaman 2 had the date first, and then Disney forced Avatar 2 in there. It's very passive aggressive. It's typical Disney. And I mean, whoever moves it, right, is going to say, oh, they're afraid. Listen, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Aquaman 2 doesn't want to be released on the same date as Avatar. Avatar is such an anticipated movie, you wouldn't want to come out on the same day. Scott Edwards, finishing Season 2 of Smallville tonight after work. Oh, yes, Scott, Smallville Season 2. Smallville always had the best finales, better than any Arrowverse finale. You've got a really exciting one. So if you're on the last episode, you're about to meet Jor-El. If you haven't already. So very exciting. Lots of stuff going on. Suzuki Giksa, any chances Aquaman 2 will move to December 2023, sir? If that happens, Suzuki, I would be, sorry, I'm not going to swear. I would be really annoyed. That's something I do not want. That would be outrageous for it to move a year. No, I do not expect that to happen. I just maybe earlier December, or maybe Aquaman 2 would come out on Christmas Day. That would be interesting, but it still would, it's still gonna, unless Avatar's a shit movie, it would still be a bit dodgy. They may have to push the movie forward rather than back. I don't want to see that movie delayed. I want to see those 4 movies come out next year because it's a big deal for DC. Scott Edwards, I think Captain Marvel 2 and Flash are supposed to open on the same day. That wouldn't be so bad, Scott, because it's an MCU movie, but I just think Flash is the most anticipated film out of those two. Because the only reason Captain Marvel did so well as it did is because people thought they were going to get clues and hints for Endgame. That's the only reason. I mean, listen, there was a lot of controversy about the actress rather than the film, because she was saying a lot of political stuff and being a bit toxic about men. But I don't think there's any DC have nothing to worry about if they come out the same day as Captain Marvel 2, unless someone's announced for it, because Flash is the movie that Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be in it. Nicolas Cage's Superman may be in it. Brandon Routh's Superman may be in it. These are things that people won't want to miss. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there. I think Flash has got that date. And maybe Captain Marvel may want to move there. But as I say, these are just preliminary dates. I think these are all things that can move. So I'm not worried about that. But I would be worried about Aquaman 2 releasing on the same date as Avatar, but I wouldn't be worried about Flashpoint being released on the same date as Captain Marvel 2. Scott Edwards, would you watch a Flash and a Stargirl crossover? Of course. Of course. Are you talking about Grant Gusting's The Flash? Are you talking about the Arrowverse? I would certainly watch that. That would be interesting. But yes, there's a lot of things going on, Scott, right now with Arrowverse. It's interesting. It's not there. A couple of the shows are being cancelled. It's interesting where they're going with it. I'm still very, very suspicious about the future of the CW. I still feel Superman and Lois will be exclusive to HBO Max for season 2, but we'll see if I'm right or wrong. We will see. We will see. But certainly, I'll watch anything DC if I've got the time to do it. But I've got my anticipated things. Youssef Ojuan, George Miller. Who's George Miller? Pramila Sane. Grant Gustin will be in the Flash movie. Yes, Pramila, I've always believed. I mean, they did the crossover with Ez and Grant. So I think that will continue within Flashpoint. That might even be the beginning of the movie. Who knows? Youssef Ojuan, Justice League. Yeah, I like Justice League. Did you mean, hang on, George Miller? Justice League. Oh, George Miller's Justice League. Yeah. What a shame we never saw that movie. Oh, my God. What a director he is. That would have been awesome. Yeah, definitely. I would have loved that. It would have been amazing. There's a lot of projects from DC and WB that have never happened. I mean, what about the Kevin Smith Superman Lives, directed by the great Tim Burton? Oh, my God. I want to see that. Who's seen the documentary, The Truth About Superman Lives, or whatever it is? It was really, really good. So I always wanted to see that, but obviously we can't see it because it never happened. Scott Edwards, correction, Flash and Captain Marvel 2 open a week apart. Well, that's interesting. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? It's weird, isn't it? Flash and, I mean, which film opens first, Scott? That's interesting. Youssef Ojuan, people need to separate the art from the artist. Yes, Yusuf, you absolutely do. Listen, we're all flawed people. We can be toxic, we can be nice. Imagine, right, you like watching my videos and someone says to you, well, that Mick shagged my wife. Would you still watch my videos? That would be your decision. But the truth is, in the entertainment industry, right, you know, they're not particularly good people. If I stop watching things and following people, actors and actresses, because they weren't good people, then I wouldn't watch any movies. So all this stuff that people are taking Johnny Depp's side over Amber Heard's side, listen, they're both as bad as each other. They took lumps out of each other. And why doesn't he leave it alone? Move on. If you didn't keep on taking the bloody woman to court, you still have a career, Johnny. Right. Are you excited to see Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel 2 team up? Are you excited? Yes, Scott, I am. Pramila Sane, I think Ezra Miller as Flash, a good choice. Yes, he's all right. He's all right. I like Ezra Miller. Scott Edwards, I mean, Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch team up. Yes, that is going to be brilliant. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Not till next year, of course. And the big film in the MCU is at the end of this year, which is Spider-Man, No Way Home. Wow. That's going to be awesome, isn't it? Can't wait. You know, I'm more of a DC man than a Marvel man, but Jesus Christ, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and who knows who else is going to cameo in that film. Doc Ock. It's going to be amazing. It's kind of a shame that they need all these kind of things to make people excited, because I just don't think the Tom Holland era of Spider-Man's worked. Scott Edwards, isn't Stargirl in Smallville? Yes. Season 9, Absolute Justice, a really good version. I think they did a good job with her. So you'll see all that, yeah. And Jeff Johns wrote Absolute Justice. So, yeah, you got that to look forward to. And that will be, yeah, she's in it. I mean, she's not front and center, but she's definitely in it. And that's the story there. It's about the JSA and what happened to them. So it's very interesting. Look, Absolute Justice is a 90-minute Smallville movie event, and it's a must for any DC fan, even if you don't want to binge the whole series. I can't believe that we've been going for 44 minutes already. It does go fast. At first, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was going to gain some life, this live stream, but it's doing all right. We've got about 6 people in. That's all right. I've had about 9, 10 in tonight. I'm not a big YouTuber, so I don't expect 2,000 people. Maybe one day we'll have a big party here and we could talk with lots of different people. That's the dream. We will see. We will see what happens. But I definitely, I don't know what made me start doing live streams, because I didn't think I could do it. But now I'm doing them, and it's better than uploading. Uploading's a nuisance because my internet is awful. It really is. Pramila Sina, I think Marvel will win multiverse strategy. Well, Pramila, it's a good conversation to have in a debate. Who is going to win the multiverse strategy? Who's going to do it better? Now, we know Kevin Feige's record. We know the guy's a genius. It is interesting. You would think from the outside looking in, because of his record, he would do a better job of it. But there's already a lot of noises of complaints from Spider-Man fans who stand the Tom Holland one, who are not happy with what he's doing with Spider-Man No Way Home. Of course, if that's a good movie and the multiverse strategy is successful, then people aren't going to care. So from the outside looking in, I think, yeah, you would expect Marvel's version of the multiverse strategy to be better. But I'm expecting some big things from DC too. Scott Edwards, are you looking forward to She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Miss Marvel's Disney Plus series? I'm mostly, out of all of them, I'm looking forward to She-Hulk. We've got Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. That should be a really awesome series that really creates this Hulk universe with all these different versions of Hulks, maybe a Red Hulk as well. You know, so I think we haven't had enough of the Hulk from the MCU because they don't have the licenses. And I think this is one of the reasons they can do She-Hulk, but they can't do an Incredible Hulk movie. But I had rumors a while back that they're able to do a movie now. I think Mark Ruffalo deserves his own Hulk movie at least. I mean, I'm sad that Ed Norton didn't get to continue because I think the Incredible Hulk movie was incredible. So that's sad. But I think Mark, a great independent actor in his own rights, deserves his own Hulk movie, right? With no one crashing in, just his own Hulk movie. But at least we're going to see him in She-Hulk. So, Scott, that's the one I'm really looking forward to. Scott Edwards, do you think Orm will be a good guy or a bad guy in Aquaman 2? Oh, I think he's going to be a bad guy. Unless there's another threat and he's kind of an anti-hero in this movie and him and Arthur have to join forces. That would be pretty interesting. I think Orm was brilliant in the first movie. I thought he was quality. Pramila Sani. Edward Norton deserves Hulk. Yes. Yeah. Ed Norton was a great Hulk. Ed Norton, American History X. Who's seen that film? Jesus Christ. Scott Edwards, what are the main problems with The Last Jedi, would you say? The Last Jedi, well, let me give you an analogy here. You've got the movie Seven, when Kevin Spacey has got Gwyneth Paltrow's head in a box. Now, we don't know that, right? But what a twist that film is. So what we get in The Last Jedi is that Rian Johnson wants to shock the audience, right? So what he does is he kills the main villain that was set up in the first film. And you're thinking, well, that's a bit shit. Who we've got left? Kylo Ren, it's an anticlimax. Kylo Ren saying you're nothing special, Rey. It's an anticlimax. But the biggest problem is that they brought in a director after the first film set up the new franchise where he just did everything he wanted, changed everything, then he was never going to direct the third film anyway. It didn't make sense, right? Abrams should have stayed for the whole trilogy, even if they wanted different directors. But basically, Abrams should have wrote and directed the whole trilogy. What a mess they made of the sequel trilogy. Scott Edwards, I thought Birds of Prey was a solid action flick. It's solid, Scott. It's solid, Scott, but it's no cigar, I'm afraid. And their toxic commentary on men, I didn't like it. But it's not a terrible movie. It's an okay movie. And the most popular character in a film that they were trying to bash men in was the male villain. So that's interesting as well. But not a bad movie at all. Just not, I expected more. That's all. But certainly not a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination. Look, the DCEU is an interesting franchise. And if the Flashpoint movie can sort it all out and makes everyone happy, which I doubt. They're not going to make everyone happy, not if they're going to burn down the Snyderverse. But Yusuf Ajuwan, George Miller, Justice League, Mortal, yeah, that's the one, yeah. Pramila Sani, water, yeah. I like to drink my water because my throat gets very dry very easily and I start to get tired. So definitely a new look Justice League, and I do think that Andy Muschietti will do his own Justice League movie. There's no question about that. There's no question. That's going to happen. I think that Andy Muschietti is the new guy, creative director in charge of the DCEU now. So anything in the central universe, he'll be doing it. So that's exciting and that's interesting. He's got a good partnership with his sister, Barbara Muschietti. And so I think he's a great director. You know, Walter Hamada has picked him because he knows him and he trusts him. Scott Edwards. Oh, man, I hope we get a Huntress in a Black Canary Limited series. Love Mary and Journey as those characters. Yes, I think Journey is the one to look for. I think her Black Canary is the one who's got the most realistic chance of returning. Bobcat Killer Moth is a character that can be easily gender bent, I think. Scott Edwards, what all in the Arrowverse have you seen? What have I seen in Arrowverse? I've seen Arrow seasons 1 to 5. I think I've seen Supergirl seasons 1 to 3 or 4. I've seen The Flash seasons 1 to about 3 or 4, I think. And then I stopped watching. But basically, the pinnacle of Arrowverse is Arrow season 1 and 2 and Flash season 1 and 2. After that, the politicians got involved, I'm afraid. And yes, very, very sad, but obviously not made for a man who's 48 years old, maybe made for younger people who are just happy that DC stuff's happening. Bobcat, I feel like Killer Moth could be a cool character, make them an engineer and give them like arm cannons. It would be pretty awesome. Bobcat, very awesome. And so, yeah. So I think people who, I don't think anyone's expecting the Flash movie to finish and with the Snyderverse still standing. Scott Edwards, is it just me or does Wonder Woman 84 feel so disconnected and out of place in the DCEU? Well, this is why Patty put it in 84, Scott. She didn't really want to connect to anything. I mean, even though she's got Hans Zimmer doing the BVS music on it, look, it's an odd choice for a movie. It's an odd direction. And ultimately, we'll see the studio weren't happy with the film. Let me be clear with you. The studio are not happy with what happened, and they tried to tell her so, but she wouldn't listen. DC better than MCU in costume design. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Scott Edwards, did you like all the Arrowverse crossovers? They're all right. Some of them are better than others. I like the early ones when it was just Flash and Arrow. That first one they did was pretty cool. Look, they're very, very good, and Crisis on Infinite Earths had some really good things. But for me, with Arrowverse, especially latter Arrowverse, they always do something to piss me off. And I always try and get back into it, but they always do something. Oh, no, I can't. That's the kind of thing that happens with me, Scott, with Arrowverse. It does my nut in. It does my head in. I can't stay on it, which is a shame because I'm a DC fan. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, certainly Superman and Lois is a win, and I'm sticking with that show, and I can't wait for its return. I think that show is going to be very, very good. And I think by the time that show finishes, because it's going to be interesting if he ever mentions anyone else in the Arrowverse, because this is a self-contained show. They don't seem to be very interested in crossing anyone over. Bobcat, I love the costumes for the Suicide Squad. I don't know what the couple is you were talking about in it, but I can see it being another couple costume like Joker and Harley for the first one. Maybe. You're going to like the film. You're going to like the film. Pramila Sane, you think Zach a fucking genius? Zach's a very talented man. Scott Edwards, Diggle is going to be in Superman and Lois. You know what? I know you're saying that, but I've read conflicting things. I've read he's directing it. I haven't really read. I don't know. Is he in it? Is he definitely in it? I know he's directing. I know Ramsey's doing one, directing one, but is he actually going to be in it? I don't know. Maybe you know more than me. I hope he is. It'll be interesting if he is. I don't know how they're going to do it. Is he going to play the Arrowverse character, or is he going to play somebody else from the multiverse? That's something where I'm not sure if even this Superman and Lois are from Arrowverse, because it's a bit odd. It's disconnected. It's disconnected. Superman and Lois is so disconnected from the rest of the Arrowverse. I mean, we say that Wonder Woman 84 is disconnected, but that series doesn't seem to want to associate itself with Arrowverse. I mean, I don't blame them, but it just seemed very, very disconnected. But we will see. We will see. Certainly a very impressive series. And there's a lot of things to think about with Superman and Lois. Is Lana's husband, what's going on between Lana's husband and their daughter? There's something not right there. Is he abusing her? What happened? He was singing to her. That was a bit creepy. So I think there's something to reveal there. Captain Luthor and Lois having a previous relationship on the other Earth. That was an earth-shattering reveal as well, wasn't it? Scott Edwards, yep, in a later half of the season. Well, looking forward to it, but don't necessarily get your hopes up that he's playing Arrowverse Diggle. Could be playing somebody else. Because, as I say, they don't seem to want to associate with Arrowverse. Bobcat, I have a feeling that Peacemaker and Rick fighting in the trailer will be the death of both of them because the building collapses, as we can see. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. It's not long now. Not long to August. Where are we? May tomorrow. June, July. A couple of months. Then we'll be able to. Then we'll all be able to see the final cut, which is really exciting. Sometimes I think, oh, I wish I didn't see the test screening. I just want to see the finished article. Scott Edwards, a lot of the Superman and Lois changes are due to Crisis on Infinite Earths, timeline changes. Yes, you could say that, but they never explained why he changed his costume, did they? He didn't have his other Arrowverse costume on at all. He just had that costume, right? And we even see him in the Action Comics #1 costume, right? So it's interesting, we never ever, in flashbacks or anything, saw him in the Arrowverse costume. So I'm not convinced, Scott. Bobcat, I'd love to get a test screening. Look, they're good. I'm thankful for them. But sometimes it's a bit of a wait. And when you're talking publicly, you're always scared you're going to make a mistake. I know you're trying to tempt me into telling you something, and I just can't. But yeah, look, they're good. It's good to get a sneak peek into something, and it's good to analyze these things as well. The problem is you can't really talk about them. I can talk to people who I know who have had a test screening themselves, which is cool. But yeah, it'd be nice to be able to talk to you guys about it. That would be amazing. But it's really cool, especially like with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, when it's a positive experience. When it's not a positive experience, it's sad because you don't want to say anything negative because you want to give people a chance to make their own minds up. I mean, this is just more my analysis. Yeah, that's cool. I'm loving your analysis. I'm loving your ideas. You obviously know a lot about the comics, a lot more than I do. As many problems as Supergirl has, I love Melissa Benoist in the role. It's a shame with Melissa. She's a good actor. She's a good actor, Melissa. I think it started off okay. I think once we lost Cat Grant, once it was cancelled from CBS, I think any chance of it being a decent show was over. But unfortunately, and I'm going to be honest with you, and people are going to laugh at me, I prefer the Supergirl, the Helen Slater Supergirl movie to mostly anything I've seen in Supergirl. That's just my opinion. I think Helen Slater was an amazing Supergirl in her own rights. And I quite enjoy rewatching that movie. I know I might get mocked by some of you, but I think it's a pretty cool movie. And Supergirl hasn't delivered on its potential. Everyone's saying it. Even like CW Arrowverse fans are saying it. So it's a shame. It's a shame. It's rather sad. It's rather sad. But unfortunately, we do live in an entertainment industry now who rather kind of lecture us than actually give us some entertainment. Bobcat, I heard Margot's Harley crosses into the animated Harley Quinn show for an episode. Oh, really? Really? That would be awesome. That would be must watch, wouldn't it? I hope so. That would be amazing. I wonder how that would work out. Well, multiverse, obviously, and it's animated. That would be funny. But that Harley Quinn series is very, very good, and can't wait to see more of it. They're going to do some more, so very exciting. What a good idea that was. Hopefully, we can get more animated DC as well, kind of poking fun and stuff like they do. It's like watching The Simpsons or Family Guy of DC, so it's pretty cool. By the way, who saw that crossover between The Simpsons and Family Guy when Peter Griffin and Homer Simpson have a fight? That is hilarious. Hilarious. I love that. I love the Family Guy type fights they do when they go on for ages and ages. It's like watching Indiana Jones or something. So awesome. I love that crossover. Sam Jajan reviews. Can James Gunn make Gotham City Sirens? Maybe. Bobcat. I did. What do you mean, Bobcat? I did. Laughing emoji. Explain. Scott Edwards. Do you think Supergirl will have a big role in The Flash? Well, not. I don't listen. It's interesting. I don't know if you're talking about Melissa Benoist, because obviously the opening the doors and the walls of the multiverse, but definitely Sasha Calle. Well, they're going to introduce her. I think we will see a bit of her, yes. I think that will be important. They want the audience to make a decision about her for them. Bobcat, I saw the crossover episode 2. Oh, yeah. That was amazing. The Simpsons and the Family Guy. That was amazing. That fight. I mean, that's more of an epic fight than we get in most superhero movies. So good. And I love Homer and Peter Griffin. It's amazing enjoyment. You can just sit there for hours watching The Simpsons, Family Guy. I sometimes watch the same episodes every day. I'm just addicted to that stuff. It's just amazing. What a great series. Seth MacFarlane's a genius. The guys who created The Simpsons, what an idea. It starts off on MTV as a little short, still going, recently commissioned for another 2 years. I hope The Simpsons never ends. I love Family Guy too, Bobcat. It's amazing. You can watch it. You can forget your problems for the day. You can forget about the real world. It's something that we actually lack in most of our movies and our TV now. But with Family Guy, it's so relaxing. It's funny. There is real life commentary, but not on a serious level. Obviously, Seth is saying things about the world. He's giving his opinions, but it's not so deep. It's not so dark, and it's not so triggering. An absolutely fantastic series. You can just lay back and enjoy it. Just brilliant. I really, really do love it. Family Guy is amazing. Oh dear, someone swore. Oh my God, Ben, listen to this. They've held your message up for review because you said Dick Grayson. Oh my God. That's ridiculous, isn't it? First time I've seen Finn, the guy playing GL in The Big Short, I thought he could be a good Dick Grayson. So do I. I'm going to have to hide the comment just in case they take my life down. But yeah, a good point. And that is ridiculous. Just because you said Dick Grayson, that's ridiculous. Anyway, Scott Edwards, I feel blessed every time I'm seeing a DC or Marvel content, lol. So do I. Ben Pottymore, what haha. Wonder Woman 3, Cersei, be the main villain. Maybe, maybe not. It's interesting, isn't it? Because they've messed up Cheetah. That's not the... Listen, let's be honest. That's not the Cheetah. Does anyone agree with me, right? That the Cheetah we got in Wonder Woman 84 is nothing like the one in the comics or the awesome ones we get in the animated stuff, right? Have you ever seen the North and South with Patrick Swayze? Scott, my man, I have. It's amazing. I grew up watching that. Oh, and I had a little crush on Ashton. Oh, I love a bad girl. Bobcat, I hope they do the Legion of Doom. Oh, so do I. They were going to do it, weren't they? They were going to do it. That's what Justice League was going to do. And I think Zack kind of had a similar idea and they stole it from him. I think there's going to be a lot of realignment. As I say, as we see these new DC content, I'll be able to make my mind up if this whole strategy, moving away from the Snyderverse, is even going to work. And I think everyone's going to be doing that as well. So it'll be very, very interesting. But yes, North and South, Scott. I love Kristen Wiig, but she didn't feel like Cheetah. It's just, listen, it's not the Cheetah from the comics. It's not the Cheetah from the comics. Let me tell you the problem with it. They should have been friends for ages. They shouldn't have just met in that film. You know, like in Smallville, they're mates for 7 seasons, and then the relationship breaks down, and it works. But in that film, they met, and in 5 minutes, they're best mates. It didn't make any sense. It felt rushed. And she's just not the Cheetah from the comics. Not at all. Scott Edwards, I agree. They ruined Cheetah. Scott Edwards, I love North and South. Yeah, and there's books. They're not, that wasn't just a series. That was adapted for books. So there's John Jakes North and South, and there's John Jakes Love and War. Both were adapted into a miniseries. The cast was amazing. Ben Pottimore, is Jessica Cruz going to be in GL series? Well, this is what I'm asking everyone, Ben. Is Jessica going to be in it? I've heard a rumor that Jessica may get her own show. So let's see what happens there. But Jessica Cruz needs the figure. She's massive. I did read something about Jessica. Was it a year ago or something? And I put it on the channel. I can't remember. But let's hope. Ben, I hope so. Scott Edwards, have you ever seen a film called Salo? No. But have you seen a film called No Way Out starring Kevin Costner? Now, that's a film. Love Jessica Cruz. She's great and she deserves live action for sure. And I think the way we're going in the industry today, it's, to have a Latino Green Lantern. And I did read they were doing something. I think she's definitely either in Green Lantern Corps or she might be her own. I think she's going to be in Green Lantern Corps for sure. And she's going to be amazing. She's going to be amazing and I can't wait for that series. It's about time. It's about time that Green Lantern got the love it deserves and live action are good because the potential, it's literally Star Wars in DC. Everything that happens, on OR and all of that and the potential. So Green Lantern, is untapped potential for the DCIP. And, they've got to do it, as far as I'm concerned. No question. I can't believe we've waited this long to at least get something in live action. Because, yes, the Green Lantern movie didn't work. But you should have done something. This is the problem with Warner Brothers. I don't understand the people that work in this industry today. It's like they're amateurs who have come off the streets, honestly. Scott Edwards, I even liked North and South Book 3, even though it gets a lot of hate, lol. Did they do a Book 3? Was it the proper actors in that? Let me know, Scott. I hope Taika Waititi is a good character as Ratcatcher. Oh, Taika. Oh, Taika. Look, Taika's brilliant. Taika's brilliant in everything he does, yeah. You're definitely going to like him. He's brilliant. So, yeah, he's brought all his friends along with him, hasn't he, James Gunn? But, great director. Looking forward to Thor, Love and Thunder. And I think you're going to like what he does. And, talking about Green Lantern in the movie, Taika Waititi was in that film as Hal Jordan's mate as well. And he was brilliant in that film. We missed out there. We should have given him a director's job. Now he's Mr. Flipping Disney and Mr. MCU and Mr. Star Wars. So frustrating. I'm still pissed off that Russell Crowe is going to be in an MCU movie. I'm pissed off that Christian Bale is going to be in an MCU movie. Ben Pottimore, thoughts on Gotham PD, the Batman spin-off? Well, it's very exciting because apparently Commissioner Gordon, well, he's not Commissioner Gordon in that series, but he's in that. And he's going to be the copper who's on the brink of being corrupt. And this is the thing. He's basically fighting against his darker self. So it's going to be very interesting. Looking forward to that. Scott Edwards, it was released in 94. Patrick Swayze did not return. Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. And what's the point? The whole point is to see George and Ori together. If it's different actors, not a chance, Scott Edwards, can you tell I don't know. Can you tell us if Starro speaks? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you anything. Sorry. I said sorry with a smile. You will be very, very pleased. But look, Scott, I said it on yesterday's stream. I was shocked how a villain that's basically inspired from a starfish, right, is so good. When I first heard about this, before I saw the film, I thought to myself, this is shit. But wow. Bobcat, Taika Waititi would make an amazing Green Lantern movie. I think Ryan Reynolds could still be a good Green Lantern. That's a good shout. And who knows? A movie's still being developed. And with James Gunn's future being with DC rather than the MCU, I think Taika could be a good shout for that. Bobcat, I heard Starro only talks through other people. You're hearing a lot of stuff. Where are you hearing this stuff from? Is there an underground The Suicide Squad tunnel or something? Be careful what you listen to, though. Be careful what you listen to. I think we're going to give the stream another 10 minutes. So say what you have to say. You are a lucky guy who see all DCE movies early screening. Yes, I don't like to rub it into people. Oh, I get to see the films early, because it's not fair. I get to see the films early. It's good. But you're the lucky ones, because you don't have to keep quiet about it. You see the finished article and that's all you see. But I like to see it. I like to see it because I think it's interesting. I like the concept of a test screening where they're showing you something that's kind of finished but's not finished. It's interesting just to see, as someone who's involved with filmmaking and stuff, it's interesting to see it. So yes, I do feel really fortunate, and I'm really grateful and thankful, definitely. I think it's important to be thankful and not arrogant in life. I think there's too many arrogant people on this planet already. So I definitely don't want to add to that. How do you get to see them early? You just have to apply. You just have to apply early on. Set pic from the flat is on Twitter. Looks like Keaton's Wayne Manor. What? What? Ronnie, you know my Twitter, right? Ronnie, you know, I'm repeating, you know my Twitter. Find the pic and post it to me, right? I want to see that pic, right? Tag my name or whatever, Ronnie, please, I beg you. Set pic from the flashes on Twitter. Looks like Keaton's Wayne Manor. Oh my God. I tell you what, I'm going to have to come off in a minute. Oh my God, I'm going to have to check Twitter out. Jesus Christ. What have I been doing? Hang on, let's have a look. I was supposed to talk about Amber Heard's costume. Where are we? Right. Actually, it's probably on Andy Machete's Instagram, isn't it? What do you think of Agatha as bad guy in WandaVision? I was underwhelmed by her, to be honest. Let's have a look. Andy Machete. Let's have a look. No, nothing on his Instagram. Are you sure? Oh, done. Thank you. Let's have a look. Right. This is interesting. Well, there's a Warner Brothers truck there. You probably can't see it. The lighting's shit. And, oh, yes. This looks like Wayne Manor. Is this the DCEU Wayne Manor? Is this the Batfleck Wayne Manor? Or is this the Keaton Wayne Manor? Oh, what do we think there? That is awesome. Wow. Want to talk about that on tomorrow's Big Mouth Daily for sure. Wow. Do you watch Lucifer? New trailer came in today. Yes, Ben Pottimeyer. And the whole premise basically is that God's going to retire and Michael and Lucifer are going to fight to decide who's going to become God. It seems like a hilarious premise. And what a shame they're ending the show with season 6. What an amazing performance by my countryman, Tom Ellis. Brilliant. And I first saw him on Doctor Who. I already know I'm buying that soundtrack for the Suicide Squad. James Gunn is great with music choices, definitely. Pottimore, Affleck's manor is burnt down. Well, couldn't it have been rebuilt since Justice League? Just wondering. I know it was burnt down, but surely they were going to rebuild it. It couldn't stay burnt down. But I can't remember what Tim Burton's manor looked like. I think this is Tim Burton's one. Wow. Let's see a translation on this post because this is a foreign one. There we go. And we have the first images of the set of The Flash in Lincolnshire, where we can see Michael Keaton's Batman Wayne Mansion. Ah, so it is. It's Keaton's one. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. So exciting. You know, if they've built the mansion now, Keaton's definitely... What I looked up, it's the same one as the Batman 89. This is so exciting. Come on. How can you not be excited for this, guys? He's rebuilding it into the Hall of Justice. Of course he is. Yeah, sorry. Bobcat, his manor could be rebuilt by now. Yeah, I don't know, but that's Keaton's one. That's definitely Keaton's one. Listen, Keaton is going to be the new DCEU Batman. That's for sure. That's happening, and I think they're doing Batman Beyond, and I've been a big fan in the past of Batman Beyond. And if they're going to do that storyline with Batgirl, I'm up for it. I think it's exciting. I think these are good ideas, and I think as biased as people can be with Snyder, I think once they see what they're doing, people may be a little bit up for it. I think we've known too much about the war between Snyder and WB, something we shouldn't have known. Snyder's told us too much, I think, and too many things have been exposed, because normally these relationships between filmmakers and studios are not released. And I think it's become too toxic, and it's not our fight. Basically, it's not our fight. Bobcat, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, mate. It's going to be awesome. I mean, that mansion looks sensational. Sorry, my lighting's rubbish because you can't really see it properly. But wow, honestly, it's kind of fun and good that this happened during the live stream as well. Wow, how amazing is that, though? Really, really good. Really, really good. And I'm so happy because Michael Keaton is proud of playing this character, make no mistake. So you could actually get a Batman Beyond movie directed by Tim Burton. Ronnie Dodge, did you know it's Gal's birthday today? Yes, happy birthday, my future wife, Gal Gadot. Come on, Gal. Come on, Gal, me and you. Amber can come round the weekends. Wouldn't it be fun? Now, that's toxic masculinity, isn't it? That's what these women are talking about. But wow, Gal Gadot is a beautiful woman, isn't she? And a wonderful soul, such a positive soul. I love Gal. Comes across really nice, but again, you don't know anyone in this world. Who knows? But happy birthday, Gal. How old is she? Is she about 30, 26? So if she's playing Cleopatra, one question, will she be in the milk bath? Batfleck far better than Michael Keaton. Difficult. I love them both. I don't know. Did you know it's Gal's video? So you're saying Keaton at his age is going to be Batman in the future movies? I think so, Ben Pottymore, for now. But I think the plan is for Batgirl to be that. I think Batgirl will have that position in the Justice League, in the new Justice League. I don't know if we'll have a proper... At this moment in time, Keaton's Batman and Batgirl will be the two members of the Bat family in the Justice League. And I think Supergirl will be in this new Justice League. And I suppose a version of Superman. We still don't know what's going on with Cavill as well. She's 35, so she's quite younger than me. I'm 48. But 35 is not that young, is it? So I think me and Gal could have a great future. Say what you want about Geoff Johns. His GL stories are the best. Yes, look, Geoff Johns is an amazing comic book writer. People who hate him are going to hate him. Doesn't matter. They can hate him. It's up to them. Right? I don't know what happened between... This is my opinion about Geoff and Zach's relationship. Zach sees DC one way, and Geoff has been working at DC for so long. He worked his way up. He worked with Dick Donner. He got into... he's so passionate about these characters. This is why it became toxic between both of them. I heard one of the multiverse is like gender swapped, and that's what the superhero high show is about. Like it's in that multiverse, and Supergirl and Batgirl, they are like Cavill and Affleck. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe for an animated series, maybe. And that's what the superhero high show is about. Well, maybe, yeah. It's an animated series, though. Interesting stuff. We'll see. But you've certainly got your ear to the ground. You hear a lot of rumours, don't you, Bobcat? Interesting rumour. But I have no idea, and I don't know what to say about it until it's a fact. I'll read that again. I heard one of the multiverses is like gender swap, and that's what that superhero high show is about. Like it's in that multiverse and Supergirl. I will say, as far as we know, there's only two. They're only focusing on two Earths right now: Earth 1 and Reeves' Earth 2. And I think maybe other characters will come from the other Earths and join the central universe. But I don't think we'll be going to the other Earths quite yet. Eventually, I think. But I think they want to develop Earth 2 first, which makes sense. And that's Matt Reeves. That's Matt Reeves' Earth. So that's very interesting. And I actually believe that Matt Reeves is going to develop his own Superman, his own Batman. So that's very interesting. So these are really, really exciting things, everyone. I think we're going to have to call it a day. Wow, it's been brilliant, hasn't it? I've really enjoyed this stream, and I can't believe that we've Ronnie Dodge. I can't wait to see Supergirl's costume for the Flash. That's something we need to see, Ronnie, because that's going to be amazing. This is what's going to tell a big story. We may not actually see it to the movie because they may not want to give away. Is it going to be like Cavill's, right? This is interesting. Or would it be a new suit? If it's a new suit, that means there's more changes than we thought. It's going to be interesting. Bobcat, I think Michael Jordan's Superman will be on Earth 2, maybe. Michael Jordan's Superman. Oh, Michael B. Jordan's. Maybe. Or I think this Superman is going to be the new Superman for Earth 1. I've got a little suspicion he may replace Cavill. I hope not. Let's see what they do. That's interesting. But because J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves have worked together before, so they could be working together to develop this Earth 2. Ben Pottimore, I think they should do a standalone movie like Joker Character Study, but if they did a Lex Luthor and standalone thoughts, standalone. Look, I was really excited when I saw Joker, and I thought Lex Luthor would be the obvious one to do next. The problem is we got all that in Smallville, really. I think, Alan Miles did all that anyone can do for a Lex Luthor, prequel story. And it was so good. I don't think anyone can do better than that, but who knows? I hope he doesn't. Ronnie Dodge, Shazam Fury of the Gods is filming soon, which is exciting. It certainly is. Bobcat, I love Cavill a lot. Yes, Henry Cavill's a gentleman. I hope we get him back. That's all I can add, really. I hope we get him back. But I know absolutely nothing. But these things, thanks, Scott. Yes, send it on Twitter. I think these things are going to have to be revealed really quickly now. But they may not reveal certain things till we see the movie. That's a test screening I'd love to see, Flashpoint. I'm not sure if there's going to be one available, though. That'll be interesting. Kavari, I hope they go big with GL series. It's our Star Wars. Yeah, it's DC Star Wars. Do it properly. It's got so much potential, but it's such a big universe that it doesn't have to be one universe. You can have different versions of Green Lantern. And that's exciting as well. There's so many characters, and I don't think there's grade D and B characters in the Green Lantern universe. I think they're all kind of relevant. Yusuf Al-Jawan, great MJ, mate. Ronnie Dodge, after Wonder Woman 3, I hope Gal sticks around as Wonder Woman. Yes, that's going to be interesting, what happens. Bobcat, I heard the cameos in the Suicide Squad, but I'm very doubtful about it. Oh, you heard there's cameos in the Suicide Squad. See that blank face? That C-3PO face? Doesn't give anything away. Kavari, I like the fact that Deadline included him in the article as a producer. Hang on, what's this about? What? Who's the producer? Kavari, what are you talking about? I like the fact that Deadline included him in the article as a producer. Who's a producer of what? Let me know, Kavari, if you're still around and you haven't left. Ben Pottimore. Jeff Johns. Yeah, look, Jeff Johns is so elite. He's a producer of all the films. Hopefully, in the end, when everything dies down, we can get a Jeff Johns kind of movie or something. Yusuf Ajuwan, Wayne Manor, yeah, Kavari, Jeff Johns. Ronnie Dodge, Mick you tease. You should ask the women. I'm always teasing the women. They can't get enough. They're divorcing their husbands. Anyway, everyone, I think we're going to have to call it a day. And I love talking to you, and I don't want to go, really, to be honest with you. But I look after my dad, elderly dad, disabled. I have to get him to bed. Unfortunately, someone has to do it. Pramila Sana, you see Aquaman early test screen, which was totally different than the theatrical release. I did see the Aquaman first movie test screening. Look, test screenings are different. Test screenings are different because it's not the finished article. Aquaman cameo is the only one I have faith in. Ronnie Dodge, take care, mate. Thanks, Ronnie. Bye, Mick. God bless. Thanks, Ben. And I'll be back tomorrow, early tomorrow, to do the Big Mouth Daily. I hope more things drop so we can talk about more things. You probably won't be around for my first live. This time live, there's more people around. So I'm going to be doing 2 lives from now on. I don't want to upload anymore. So what I'm going to do is do the Big Mouth Daily Live and do a little evening video like this. Tag you in the post. Thank you, Scott. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be talking on Twitter after I leave this stream about this mansion reveal because I'm so pumped about it. So remember, if you're not following me on Twitter, I am at Movies TV Mad. See you, Mick. Thank you, Bobcat. So thank you, everyone. You've been absolutely fantastic. And I want you to know, because there's only a few of you on these streams, but I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate people who want to spend time with me, talk geek with me. It's fun. It's not tense. It's not toxic. And I like that. It's great. So I will be back tomorrow with the Big Mouth Daily. I will be back this time tomorrow with another live stream. So please feel free to join in. So please join me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And I'll see you again tomorrow for the Big Mouth Daily. See you later.